Hello, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover. It's Monday, which is normally when I talk about mini-series, but through the month of December, I'm going to be sort of wrapping up 2021 as far as my collection goes. Not saying I'm going to stop reading and collecting comic books by any stretch of the imagination. No, I'm just going to be talking about some of the more standout books that, in my opinion, standout books that I picked up through the year of 2021. So today I decided to start with some of the covers. These are just going to be standard covers. I have 10 of them from various publishers, series, throughout the year. They're not going to be in any particular order. I'm not going to get into, well, this book was released on this day and this month, whatever. This is just going to be me just kind of showing and saying a little something about some of the books that had covers that really kind of stood out for me this year. And so let's just get to it. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so just kind of bear with me. This is not going to be perfect. This is not going to be very exciting or anything. It's just something kind of fun that I figured I could do this year. Maybe I can do this as an annual thing. I don't know. But the first one is going to be Batman: The Adventures Continue, Season 2, Number 3. Again, this came out sometime in 2021. That's all I'm going to be able to tell you. But basically, what kind of stood out for me with this cover is the color use. Seems like whenever there's a book that has a lot of purples or reds on it, that really kind of attracts my attention. I don't know why it's always been kind of like that, but this one here's got a lot of purples on it. You've got, the Huntress and Batgirl and the dude that they were both after, and you see Batman in the background there. But it's just a really great, there's the colors. The colors are what attracted me to it, and the colors was what kept it in the back of my mind all year long. Now the entire run, there's 7 issues in this series, and I think it ends actually this month, in the month of December. And this is the one issue that I was like, yeah, this is the issue that's the issue of the series for me. Again, really, there's not much more I could say about it. Other than it was just a great cover. The colors, it was the colors that did it for me. Better than the story inside of it, but not by much. I remember this one, just the whole, relationship between Batgirl and Huntress and Batgirl and Batman and this guy that everybody's after. But great cover, one of my favorites of 2021, and my favorite of the Batman: The Adventures Continue Season 2 miniseries. Next one, I'm going to set this guy right here. Yeah, this will be fine. All right, so next up, this is a new series, one that started this year from Cullen Bunn and Boom Studios, Basilisk, issue 2. And it's, again, like I said, reds and purples for some reason attract my attention to covers. But this one, it was just, it's just a gorgeous cover from top to bottom. Just this is one of the main, I guess you can call them villains of the series. And her whole thing is she can make people deteriorate, just like you're seeing here on the cover. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous cover. I think really the only thing that would make this more gorgeous than what it is if David Mack had done it. But as it is, the artist who did it, Simmons, says, looks like Simmons down here on the bottom. I don't know too much about this individual other than the fact that they just knocked it out of the park with this cover. And I think this is a series that's kind of gone on a short hiatus. Seems like it's been a while since I picked one up. But out of everything, this is one cover, again, one cover of the series that I'm always looking at because there's just something about it. I absolutely love this cover. This is one of those covers that if I was at a convention and I saw this as a print or, just like a standalone thing, I would definitely want this. And I have on more than one occasion thought about buying a second copy of this just so I could put it in a frame and hang it on my wall. 'Cause this is just an absolutely gorgeous cover. Great series too. Basilisk is a great series. Cullen Bunn, I know a lot of people are kind of like hit and miss with him, but I have yet to really have a miss with him. This is another great series, but this cover is absolutely gorgeous. And changing gears a little bit, from a gorgeous cover to one that I just kind of stood out to me because it's an homage cover. But it's an homage cover of one of my favorite covers, but also featuring some of my favorite movie characters of all time. And this is from American Mythology Productions, the Robotnik Stooges. So you had the three Stooges. Now this is Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe. Okay, so this is the Robotnik Stooges. It was an animated series where the Stooges were part robot. Makes no sense to me at all, but it gets us more Stooges stuff, regardless of the quality. But, just the idea, just the thought, and I think I said this when this book came out, and I was talking about it originally, just the thought of Moe having any power resembling the Infinity Gauntlet is beyond scary, with his temperament and his, basically just his temperament. I mean, what are you going to do? The book itself is okay. It's not one of the better Three Stooges books that American Mythology has put out, but this cover, and even the second cover, the second cover was almost in this stack because it's the Robotnik Stooges as an homage cover for Fantastic Four #1. But I gotta go with Infinity Gauntlet #1 because it's Infinity Gauntlet. When I started collecting comic books back in the early '90s, that was the first major event that I ever got into, and to this day, it's still my favorite major event. Even though it seems like the concept of the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Gems and Thanos have been kind of watered down. Not really, watered down, but mostly because of overuse. I think that the whole concept needs to be retired for a little while. But anytime I can find a variant cover or any kind of an homage cover of Infinity Gauntlet #1, I will kind of go out of my way to pick it up. But this was just perfect for me. I'm a huge fan of the Stooges, huge fan of Infinity Gauntlet. So you put one and one together, you get Three Stooges, and it's awesome. Gotta love it. The next one, this one's more of a recent one, not from a series that I normally collect. Everything so far has been from a series that I collect. This is not one that I collect, mostly because I've said this before. I'm not a fan of Donny Cates, and for my own reasons. It's a personal opinion of mine. It has nothing to do with anything other than it's just my own personal opinion. But when they made the announcement that this is going to be the regular cover, I had to get it. This is Thor #18 with the Throg cover, and this was it's just a nice cover. It's a gorgeous cover. It's just everything from the composition to just you have this frog Thor with a Mjolnir, and you could just tell that he's a small frog, but he can kick your butt. He has that look about him. It's just a really cool cover. Aside from the fact that it's a really cool cover, I picked it up because I really realized I don't really have anything in my collection that Throg is on or in, and I figured now's the time to sort of fix that and correct that glaring mistake in my collection. And this was just a great cover. I mean, I'm honestly surprised this wasn't a variant. This is variant cover material, and I would have still picked this up if it were the variant cover. But fortunately for me, it ended up being the standard cover, and I was able to pick it up. So Thor #18, Donny Cates, and Throg. Great cover. I absolutely loved that cover. Okay, so the next one is this was actually a really kind of a creepy. They're going to continue it in 2022, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's from Aftershock, and this is Bunny Mask #1. Now the Bunny Mask concept, it's very much sort of a Tales from the Dark Side style story. I mean, there's something going on here, and I'm real curious to see what's going to happen with Bunny Mask. Not sure if she's Bunny Mask, or when they're talking about Bunny Mask, it's just this item here. But I'm sure we're going to find out more. But this cover really kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to get when you read the book. I mean, this gal is not friendly. Well, it's weird because she is friendly, but she's not friendly. She's in that gray area of extremes. She's either going to be really nice to you and maybe help you out, or she's going to kill you. So it's one or the other. But this cover, out of the entire run, this was the cover that just I saw it in the solicitations, and even without even knowing what the book was going to be about, or if it was an ongoing series or a mini series, it's like, no, I have to have this book. I got to have this cover at the very least, and wound up reading it and really enjoying it. So it is one that I recommend if you're looking for that. if you're looking for something along the lines of, let's say Silver Coin, Image Comics Silver Coin, where it's sort of a dark and kind of an anthology thing. I mean, this would be something that you definitely want to check out as well. So, Bunny Mask #1. It's got a nice sort of watercolor look to it. I love the cave in the background, because the cave does play a part in this first story, this first miniseries. The cave does play a huge part in it. So to have that sort of very subtly in the background, I think is it really works for this cover. So Bunny Mask #1, Aftershock Studios. It is another book that I recommend, but if for nothing else, grab it for this cover. It's a great cover. It's one of those that even looks better in person than it does in picture or on video. So got that one. All right, so now we're about at the halfway point. So before I continue, of course, if you enjoy my videos and you enjoy my content and you like what I'm doing, which I kind of just said that, but if you enjoy my stuff, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, and share the videos, do all that fun stuff. I'm having a good time sort of, slowly getting into the YouTube comic book community. There's some great people that are part of this community, and a lot of great people that have small channels like mine, and it's great to check them out. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can sort of spotlight some of these other channels, because I mean they follow me, I get comments, and I'm pretty sure that some of my new subscribers are from these other channels, so I kind of want to give something back, and I just got to figure out a good way to do that. So, but anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and of course on Thursday I'm going to have my my weekly haul, weekly review video, as I always do. Full Run Friday is going to be put on hiatus through the month of December. We'll bring it back in January, just because with the holidays I really don't have a lot of time to put up a lot of content. So I'm going to put that on hiatus until January. So Full Run Friday will return in January. Moving on, this one's probably one of the more recent books on my list here, The Death of Doctor Strange #1. There's a Doctor Strange book back in the day that had him in the foreground with a skull in the background, and that was always one of my favorite Doctor Strange covers. And now I'm not one to normally get into a Marvel event of any kind. I think the last event that I read all the way through from beginning to end was it was about 10 years ago. It was God, I don't remember what it was called now. It was after Secret Invasion, after Dark Reign. I didn't really get into Dark Reign, but I mean it's been a good 10-15 years since I've read a Marvel event from beginning to end and enjoyed it from beginning to end. So I wasn't going to get into this, but two things made me decided to at least check it out. Number one was the cover. Just something about Doctor Strange in the foreground with a skull in the background. It reminded me of that cover from back in the day. It's one of my favorite covers of all time. So I had to grab it for that. But I also found out that Bloodstone, Elsa Bloodstone, is going to have a one-shot that's out next month in early January. And I'm going to grab that. Probably going to grab like two copies of it, because her cover is awesome. But it's just, Doc Strange, skull in the background, all those colors. I love the colors that are, all around in the purplish pink that's coming out of his hands as he's flying in front of this thing. It's just a great cover. I mean, I really don't know what more to say about it. It's a really well done cover. And it, to me, was better than the variant covers that they were going to put out for this. So I enjoyed it. I had to have that one. Next up, from Image, Spawn #315. This is an early appearance of She-Spawn. I think it's one of, if not the first, cover appearance of She-Spawn. Now, she was sort of advertised as being in this issue, if I remember right, which is one of the reasons why I picked it up. Figured, first appearance of a new character, whatever, let's check it out. Wasn't even really in the book at all, but I still got a great cover out of it. I mean, you got a gal in here. She's got her, look at down there on the bottom. She's already kicked somebody's butt. She's really drawn as a gorgeous but very strong woman, and this is something that I think there's not really said much in comic books, because we have a whole new generation of readers sort of collectors and sort of fans that are coming in and telling us, longtime fans, that we are kind of sexist. We're only interested in female characters if they're drawn like this, or drawn like how Stephen Hughes used to draw Purgatory and Chastity and Lady Death back in the Chaos Comics days. But the fact of the matter is, these people are only looking at the surface. They're not looking at the fact that they're gorgeous women, and that's one of the reasons why we buy them. That's one of the reasons why I bought this book, because it's a gorgeous cover, and she's a hot chick, but she also kicks ass. Sorry to drop a little swear word in there, but she also kicks ass, just like all those other wonderful ladies do. They look good, and they kick butt, and I don't think there's enough of us within the comics community that are willing to stand up to these other people and say, you know what? You don't actually seem to be reading these comic books. You don't actually seem to understand what these characters are like and are about. Otherwise, you would understand how dumb you're being and complaining about the way they look. But I also notice that these people also don't seem to have a problem with how artists draw men and their sort of physical perfection and prowess. That's okay to sort of have men not have their whatever confidence or whatever shattered by a comic book character, but you can't do that with women. But I don't know. I buy what I like. I like a good cover. This is a good cover. This is also another one that if I ever come across this as a print or a poster or anything like that, this is one that I would definitely buy, because it's a great cover. It's a great piece of artwork there. I really, really like that one. Another one from, this is not another one from, this is actually from AWA, which is really hard for me to say. So I'm a wrestling fan, and to me, AWA is a wrestling association. But now they're using those same letters for this comic book publisher. AWA Upshot Erratic, number 5 of 5. This is a cool little series that it was just a 5-issue miniseries. I'm hoping that we get something more on it. It's about this kid. He's maybe 15 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong if you've read it, but he gets superpowers, but only gets them for like 10 minutes a day, and he has to do everything he can to accomplish his goals before he loses his powers. And it was a great, fun series. It really kind of reminded me of back in the 90s when they were introducing all these new characters like Darkhawk and Sleepwalker, and they were all teenagers or young adults, and just they get these powers, and they're trying to balance their home life, their school life, their social life with being a superhero, and they don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the world experience to be able to do it properly, but they do the best they can. I mean, this really felt like a back to basics comic book that Marvel used to do back in the day, and that's one of the reasons why I really liked it. But this reminds me of a Spider-Man cover. This could easily be one of the best Spider-Man covers ever, but fortunately, or unfortunately, however you look at it, AWA snatched it up. Erratic has it, and it's an amazing Erratic cover. I mean, he kind of looks like this little elf guy. I love it. I love the design of the character. I love the story. I like just how he's perched up there on the top of a tall building in the middle of the city. It's just a great cover, and it's another one of those that looks much better in person than it does in picture and on video. So AWA, you knocked it out of the park with this one. Erratic, please bring him back. 2022, another Erratic 5-issue miniseries would be great. Next up, it's going to be from Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin number 7. I love me a good Lord Zed cover. And when I do my variant covers, I got a Lord Zed cover there that, oh man, another one. But this one, just Zordon just kind of has this oh crap look on his face. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. He looks like, oh yeah, I'm in trouble, because Zed looks, again, I'm going to have to say, he looks badass on this cover, and he looks like somebody that you don't want to screw around with, and sort of like how he was when he was first introduced in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where he was a scary actual bad guy, but then they sort of dumbed him down. This series here, they're taking him back to basics, and these covers really do a good job of expressing the fact that he is not a joke anymore. He is a badass, and he does not hesitate to hurt people and manipulate people. I mean, he manipulated the entire town of Angel Grove in one storyline this year, and it's just he's just really been they've done a really good job of stepping up his character. I don't really like his origin that they're doing for it because it kind of clashes with an established snippet of his origin in the Power Rangers Annual. But this cover is amazing, and this is one they do. Boom will do these covers where they'll have them like this, but then you also get a Virgin variant of it. And I would like to get that Virgin variant, if nothing else, just to pop it up on the wall, because that is a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Look at that lovely piece of artwork there. And last, but certainly not least, I think this might be the only Marvel book that is on this list. Nope, Death of Doctor Strange and Thor. I'm sorry. Moving on. Anyway. X-Men Legends number 3. Louise Simonson and Walter Simonson come back to do a storyline in X-Men Legends. Now, X-Men Legends it's a series that takes place during classic and old school storylines. So you get stuff that they're like filling in gaps from the 90s mostly. It's got late 80s, 90s, and this is a classic X Factor. Now, I've always liked these, I've always liked this artwork on this series. Now, I'm not an X-Men fan, really, but this run of X Factor, I do have quite a few of them because I love this artwork. Absolutely love this artwork, from just the way that they draw all the X-Men characters all the way down to how Apocalypse is portrayed on this. It's just a great cover for me. I was actually more excited about this issue than I was the first issue, and it seems like after this one the covers just haven't been the same, just because to me this is a great cover. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't know what more that I could say about it, but I mean, it's just great. It's nice. I think if I had to sort of put words to it, I think it would be because this, unlike the other books in this series, this one really is representative of a different era, not only in the X-Men line of books, but in comic books in general. I mean, this was before, everything had to have variant covers and gimmick covers, and we had to have 5 events going in Marvel at the same time. This was back in a time where where you had your character development, you had your storylines, and you had your slow builds of certain things, you had your long overreaching story arcs, and that's what I miss. And it's also back in the day when a comic book looked like a comic book. Nowadays, and I think it's mostly because of the movies, they're trying to draw everything and make everything as realistic as possible. But I mean, really, one of the big points and one of my big selling points for comic books is that it's escapist entertainment. I don't want it to look realistic. I want it to look fantastical, and that's where this kind of cover comes in, because this just reminds me of, I don't want to say the good old days, but it reminds me of the good old days, and I love it. It was great, and out of the entire run, that was my favorite cover out of all of them. So there you go. There's 10 of my favorite. I don't want to say top 10 favorite, because there were so many great covers. We have so many awesome artists in comics these days. And in 2021, there's been some great pieces of just not comic book covers, but actual pieces of artwork that were put out throughout the entire year of 2021. And I'm just glad, and the only reason why it was easy for me to do this is because I'm only focusing on the books that I picked up. If I was focusing on all the books that came out in 2021, this list would be impossible to whittle down to 10. Because, as I said, we got some amazing artists in the industry right now doing some amazing stuff. And it's as far as artistry goes, it is a good time to be a comic book fan. I mean, yeah, there is that issue where, as I said, I'm a little, I don't like it to be too realistic. But when we have people like Mirka Andolfo, and well, I mean, we can just stick with Mirka Andolfo. If you have people like her, and even like Peach Momoko, doing covers, and they're doing just amazing stuff. It's great. It's a great time. So there you go. There's 10 of my favorite regular covers, not variant covers, but these are 10 of my favorite covers that I picked up in 2021. So thanks for watching. I'll see everybody on Thursday for my weekly haul, weekly review video, and then tune in next Monday. I'll be talking about my favorite variant covers. And this is I've been trying to put together 10 variant covers that I want to talk about for the past 2 weeks, and it is not easy because, man, some of these variant covers came out in 2021 are epic. I mean, they're just some great stuff. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and once again, if you like what I'm doing, leave me a comment, a like, click that like button. It doesn't take too long. If you like regular covers, click that like button. If you like comic books, click that like button. If you're watching this video, click that like button. And I will see everybody on Thursday. Weekly haul, weekly review video. I think this is actually going to be kind of a small week, but we'll see what we can do, And everybody, next Monday, we're going to talk about some variant covers. Have a great week.